Hey, this is Kirk, the bariatric carnivore. Well, let's hear it for your immune system, because without it, you are toast. Frankly, you've got one of two options in this world. You can either maintain your immune system, or you can be part of the medical system and have to take drugs and medications to try to stay alive. Basically, your immune system, I trust in my immune system. I want to make it as strong as possible. Well, how do you do that? Well, there's three basic pillars of health, and they also apply to your immune system and your body's natural ability to fight off germs and infections. Number one is a quality diet. There's no substitute for this. Whole food, real stuff, trying to stay away from the ultra-processed glop. Stay away from things that keep spiking your blood glucose. That's why I eat a meat-based diet. Roughly about 90% plus of pure carnivore, because that's vital. Number two is sleep. The best sleep that you possibly can get. I know it's not possible for everybody, but when you stay away from sleep stuff, medications and alcohol, and get good restful sleep, that is going to only help your immune system, because this is where rest and restoration, and your body starts utilizing autophagy to wipe out bad cells out of your body, and just strengthens your overall immune system. And then activity. While sleep helps with stress, there's some stress that's really good, and particularly acute stress in the form of exercise, and even things like sauna can really help boost the immune system to make it as strong as possible. And I'm a big believer in utilizing these three basic pillars of health, trying to maximize the immune system. How do you know if your immune system is good? Well, one way of doing it is by checking your vitamin D level. And if your doctor won't check it, you can order your own vitamin D blood test for 20 some odd bucks online. Go to a lab, they'll draw it, and they'll check it for you. And if it's below 30, you got probably a low immune system. Now, I've never been, a big fan of trying to out-supplement a bad lifestyle. But with this one, I kind of lean toward, I'll supplement with vitamin D and K2 to try to improve my immune system and keep my vitamin D levels high. I also try to get good sun during, when in season. And when, I do all the things that maintain my health, my vitamin D levels stay pretty darn good. If you don't think vitamin D levels are important, think about COVID. When they did studies on the places that were hardest hit, these were people that had very low vitamin D levels. And part of that area of where you're going to run into low vitamin D levels is you're going to have poor metabolic health. Particularly if you're overweight. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin, and if you've got a lot of fat, it's difficult for your body to maintain concentrations of it. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about your immune system. Every now and then check your vitamin D level. It's a relatively low-cost test, but it's a good way of looking under the hood to see if you've got a pretty good immune system. There's about 6 to 7% of the population that has certified autoimmune deficiencies. If you're doing chemotherapy, you're going to be immune compromised. If you've been injured, you've lost your pancreas and stuff like that, these are things that are going to cause autoimmune problems. And, but those really affect a relatively small part of the population. A good hunk of the population is immune suppressed, and they don't have really good numbers for this. But you can take a look at the fact that most people have chronically low vitamin D levels. Again, you can check it, see where you are in that, and they will not give out numbers on that. But when you figure out and you look at the numbers and you say, okay, how many people are metabolically healthy in this country, and it's less than 10%, you know that most people can go a long way to boost their own immune system. And frankly, that's kind of your choice, because you're surrounded literally by trillions of germs, bacteria, viruses. And are they all a problem? No, actually most of them are pretty beneficial to us. That's, a little bit of dirt is not a bad thing, because that also helps boost your overall immune system. If you lived in a perfectly sterile environment, you would actually become more vulnerable to bad bacteria and stuff like that, because your immune system is going to weaken. You need to challenge it every now and then. That's kind of what exercise and sauna do. But also getting a little bit of dirt, working in soil, walking barefoot occasionally, etc., again, help you improve your overall immune system. And the stronger it is, the better you are at pushing back on viruses, diseases, as we start to head toward the winter months and the cold and flu season. Part of that reason that happens, particularly getting worse around February, is because that is the period of time we've gone months without regular sun exposure, making us more vulnerable. So the more and stronger your immune system is, start working now to avoid a bad cold and flu season by stocking up on vitamin D, by getting as much of the sunlight as you possibly can at the end of this year. It is a fat-soluble vitamin, and that's going to help your own immune system. And you can store it for the winter in your overall fat. That's a good thing. Supplement with vitamin D if you need to, if your vitamin D level is low, after you've done the blood test. These are all things that you can do to help maintain it, but frankly, the most important thing you can do is the 3 basic pillars of health and lifestyle, which is eating right, getting good sleep, and exercise. I know they're boring, that's what everybody keeps telling you to do, but think about it from your own immune system and how you want to avoid being sick. You can trust in medicine or you can trust your own body. I'm going to try to trust my own body as best I can. This is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. I try to put out a couple messages each week. If you like this message, please hit like and subscribe. Join this channel of other people that are trying to build up healthy immune systems and trying to fight the bad viruses that are trying desperately to kill you. I will talk to you again soon.